Hello, my name is Dychronic, your host here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be talking about This Week at Bungie for April 4th, 2019. This Week at Bungie, basically what's going on in Destiny 2 for the past week, the current week, as well as the next week, all the news in their little blog format. For the most part, there's not a lot of stuff to talk about this week. Most of it is about Arc Week, and as well as the different updates and buffs to all the things. The main bulk of this section is talking about all the super and subclass buffs and changes and all that stuff, some patch note previews and some updates and stuff. There's really nothing of substance, and at the very end they talk very briefly about that Crucible thing. So again, this is going to be your audible version of TWAB, so make sure you sit back, relax, enjoy the cute and amazing animals that are on screen right now, and listen to my audio where I talk about the things that are going on in Destiny 2. A bit of a change on that particular point that I just made. I'm not going to read off every single detail. There's a lot of percentages and numbers that are changing. I'm not going to mention each one of them. I'm just going to give you an overview of what's going on each one of the subclasses. You can read on screen if you want to know the particular details. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. This first section talks about the Thunderlord. If you want to go ahead and get that Thunderlord specific quest in the Cosmodrome, it will be available for 2 weeks from April 9th to April 23rd. That special mission that guarantees Thunderlord was removed from the game and added to the random different exotic engrams, which you still should be able to get it from the random engrams, but this is a guaranteed way to get it. Moving on, let's go ahead and talk about all the different buffs. Arc Week, as I understand it, is basically just a week where they buff a bunch of Arc abilities, and they have a lot of Arc themed activities like Arc Burn in different activities, which seems kind of weird. Doesn't seem like there's something special, but they have gotten a lot of buffs to the Arc subclasses, as well as a couple of other subclasses as well. And all of this will be rolling out with update 2.2.1, which is the April 9th update. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into it with the Striker Code of the Juggernaut, which is the Titan Striker Code of the Juggernaut. The bottom path, that one where you're supposed to have like the unlimited melees in Super, which they nerfed, and hopefully they're buffing with some good neutral game here. They're increasing the, buffs for, the frontal assault melee thing, increasing the durations, knockout bonuses for damage. I think is extra melee damage from melees or something like that, or kills. I don't remember exactly how it is, but they're increasing the duration, they're increasing the damage, and no longer consumed after one hit. Arcstrider, Way of the Warrior, the top path, combination blows are now going to be damage stacked up to 3 times, increasing the damage percentage in PvE and PvP respectively to these 2 different numbers. For comparison, this ability used to be 1 stack and increases melee damage by 50%, and kills with this ability now heal 40 health in addition to starting health regeneration, which is probably really nice, very similar to a Wormhusk starter dex. Deadly Reese also increased the buff duration from 6 to 8 seconds, and the buff is no longer consumed by a melee hit, similar to the Striker class. Next up, Arcstrider, Way of the Wind, the bottom path, the disorienting blow increased the distance that affects enemies by 50% and the time by 0.5 seconds, which is really nice because that thing makes a flashpoint, or not a flashpoint, a flash grenade kind of hit and completely disorients everybody hit with it. It's ridiculous. Focused Breathing also got a buff to it, increased the dodge recharge bonus by 100%, so you can get a lot more dodge with this, which makes it a lot more interesting with Wormhusk getting a lot more dodge, which is really nice. Combat Meditation increased the bonus grenade and melee regeneration by 25%, and increasing the damage resistance while dodging by these amounts in the respective activity, which is going to be really nice, which I believe Lightning Reflex is only part of the super subclass, so makes it so you can actually survive a lot more. Next up, the Stormcaller Storm Trance Super for both top and bottom class, basically an overall buff to the super. Damage scales over 150% over 5 seconds with a continuous use of the super attack. Next up, the Stormcaller Attunement of Conduction, which is going to be the top path. This is all about extra chain lightning. So all of this is going to be more chain lightnings, can hit the same target more than once, up to 5 times up from 1, getting extra bonuses, extra distance from 10 to 12 meters, getting bonuses to energy after each consecutive hit to different enemies. Lots of different chain lightning in the top path, which is really nice. Definitely the kind of thing that I wanted to see. Next up, the Stormcaller Attunement of the Elements, the bottom path. Make it so you have 600% more Rift energy recharge for each friendly nearby Guardian, which is ridiculous, and increase the duration of the Rift from 15 to 20 seconds, as well as increasing the duration of the Arc Souls when you leave the Rift, which I believe was 8 seconds before, could be 12 seconds, which makes it so you put a lot of Rifts down, give you a lot of Arc Souls, which is definitely something that is really important for this particular subclass, is what it's based on, is the Arc Buddy. Next up, the Voidwalker Nova Warp Super. Clearly, the last patch, they nerfed it too hard, so they're basically buffing it and trying to find a middle ground. Basically, reducing the energy costs, reducing the energy cost, reducing the time it takes to charge fully, reducing the energy cost of Dark Blink, which is the blinking thing, and increase the base duration from 18 to 22 seconds of the super. Hopefully, you can't go all the way across the map, kill the team twice, but hopefully it's better than it was before. Next up, the Dawnblade Everlasting Fire perk. Basically, you get super energy from super kills in the super for that particular perk. They've increased the return rate from 10 to 13% with diminishing returns over the course of however many kills. Very similar to the way they affected the Code of the Juggernaut, in my opinion. I don't like this. I want it to be that you could actually get infinite super. That was the fun part. And the last mention is that Spectral Blades has not been affected, which honestly it should be. They should come back around to it very soon. Next up, let's talk about the patch preview notes outside of things I just talked about. In update 2.2.1, there's going to be a couple of interesting things. First off, 4 new catalysts: Prospector, Rat King, Hardlight, and SUROS for the Nightfall strikes for the first 3, and Crucible for the last one. That's basically where they will drop, and then once you get them, they'll say how to get them. My opinion, these are probably all going to be stat changes. They've done this before. They release a mid-season release of Catalyst, and they're usually not special. But hopefully they do something special, because I've always wanted Rat King to be something nice. It's a sidearm. That's the reason it's always been held back, but it's always been something that I've always wanted to see do well. An issue with the Warlock Bloom ability not activating properly. The Xur inventory will now be offering randomly rolled perks for armor. If you didn't know, these same rolls will be on the same type every single time. An arm roll will always have, for example, Sniper Rifle Scavenger on it. All of the rolls were good and they were meant for what they had, but the fact they're getting random is really nice. Infusion issues for the Vow and the Braytech Whip. Couldn't be infused high enough, and now they can go to max level. A lot of people complaining about the Gambit Prime weapons only being droppable from Reckoning, also making it so that you can be dropped in Gambit Prime, as well as the fact that both of them have increased drop rates, as well as each completion without a drop will eventually guarantee a reward, which I think is really nice. A lot of people are trying to get their spare rations and other things, and they're having difficulties doing. Next up, some updates to Gambit Prime. Invasion kills will heal 8% of primeval health, down from 12%, which I think is good, and the invasion portal cooldown will be reduced or increased from 30 seconds to 40 seconds, which I think both of these are really nice, because Gambit Prime, as far as the primeval section go, it's not based on the invasion. Invasions, you have to invade on their like 3rd or 4th iteration and get them right as they're melting the primeval, because right now Gambit Prime is, instead of just damaging each of the phases, you basically just cycle the phases as fast as possible until you get the 3rd or 4th, then you dump. Hopefully this will change the things a little bit and make it so that the invasions are less frequent. That encourages people to damage more often. And the last little mention on this is Gambit Prime will now count towards your clan engram. Some updates to quests and bounties. Power Surge bounties will come back after being deleted or expired. On each character, you can complete it once per week. Yes, Sir, I'm Closer bounty used to be that one where you get 3 points for a win, -1 point for a loss. Now you have 4 points for a win, 2 points for a loss, with a completion value of 20. So it's the same number of wins, but you can also get losses. And all 4 weekly roll bounties for Gambit Prime now grant powerful helmet rewards. So those roll bounty ones, they grant you powerful reward. Not the tier 3s, but powerful reward. Next up, a couple of different things about the update. First of all, there's no downtime for the April 9th update. This is just going to be how long it's going to last, in case you're interested. A couple of more updates and resolved issues, as well as things I want to talk about. Like a Diamond Triumph for doing Flawless Scourge used to be where it couldn't unlock properly. If you did finish it properly, they're going to retroactively give that to you. Acting Bad Looking Good Pursuit, the one you have to use a full set of the Ancient Apocalypse armor in Gambit and win, not unlocking properly. Obsidian Crystal doesn't drop every time for the unidentified frame for the Izanagi's Burden. Wish Ender can't see through walls while you're invisible. Vow and Braytech Whoop not having maximum infusion. The Stronghold Power Armor Ammo, which is going to be that exotic gauntlets for the Titan for the swords, not activating properly on the Black Talon. And the weight of iron, the emblem you could purchase from Lord Saladin is 40 Iron Banner tokens. It doesn't display correctly, and now it should. Getting to the end here, we have the movies of the week. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but it's Destiny was really funny. I recommend you watch it. It's only 20 seconds. It's the Brooklyn Nine-Nine intro, but in Destiny. I think it's really funny. And then the last section, they talk about a couple of things, Arc Week and Crucible. First of all, these new emotes can be purchased through the bundles, which I assume is silver and real money. In case you wanted to get these will be in their bundles when Arc Week is available, in case you wanted any one of them. And the very last section is going to be about Crucible. They mentioned in a stream recently that got the community stirring that there wouldn't be Crucible in Destiny 3. That is not what they meant. There will be Crucible in Destiny 3. They're just planning changes over the next year for Destiny 2's Crucible to change it so it's different than it was before. And you can check out this stream right here in case you're interested in more information about that. And that is pretty much it. That is the video for guys today. Hold on just 1 second before we get to it. This actually opens up an Imgur link, but I can't access it. You guys gotta let me know. I'm assuming it's a picture of a shark, or a kitty. I don't know. But that's it. That's this week of Bungie. That's the end of the video. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions. I'm gonna rest my voice now, and I will see you guys on the next.